Hello, everyone. I hope you're doing great this Friday afternoon. It's a beautiful day, and I'm really excited to see there are so many of you joining us on the webinar session today. So, yeah, I'm just going to give a few more seconds because I can see there are more joining in. So, yeah, I'll just give a few more seconds before we kickstart the session. Hello, everyone. Fantastic. This looks good. So I think let's kickstart the session. I hope everyone is able to see me. I think there was a small technical error earlier. And so just to introduce myself, my name is Niti, and I'm the Career Services Manager at ElevateMe Bootcamp. As always, I'm really excited to welcome you all to this webinar session that we host every Friday at 3 p.m. EST. And we have a team here who is super enthusiastic about supporting international students on their job search journey here in the US. So today's session, as always, is really special because we have Michelle Licata joining us on the webinar. Michelle is our career coach on the bootcamp at ElevateMe. She is a master certified career and life coach from the International Coaching Federation with over 16 years of experience in guiding individuals through their career journeys successfully. She holds a bachelor degree from the University of Miami, and she has her master's degree from Southern Connecticut State University. Before joining ElevateMe as a career coach, Michelle has also worked as the senior career director at 2U, which is also an online bootcamp. And there she's helped thousands of individuals just like you land their dream jobs in the US. And prior to 2U, she has had her career coaching business where she's coached clients even during the 2008 financial crisis. So, hi, Michelle. Super excited to have you join us on the call today.
Hi, Nidhi. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really honored and humbled to be with you today and be speaking to everyone. So thank you.
Awesome, awesome. Okay, so before we move into our discussion, this is for all of you guys who've joined the webinar either through the Zoom link or it could be through the YouTube link. Please feel free to put in your Q&A, any questions that you have for us into the Q&A window if you're on joining us on Zoom. Else, you can always put it up on the comment section of our YouTube link and our team will be more than happy to pick it up from there. So let's get started. I'm super excited about today's session. So Michelle, just so that everyone who's here joined us, on the webinar could you just introduce yourself and talk a little bit about your background?
Oh, sure. I'd love to. Thank you. So I was born and raised in Connecticut, as you've shared. I attended the University of Miami for my undergrad. I then went back up to Connecticut to get my master's at Southern Connecticut State University. Went back down to Florida. I lived in Miami for about 25 years. And then I've recently moved up to Palm Beach about now 4 years, where I've obviously been living. I started my career at the largest law firm in the state of Florida, Ackerman Centerfit. I left there and founded my own very successful coaching business right at the height of the 2008 financial crisis. So, of course, very much like today, the job market was very tough. People were just struggling and having to adapt. And so very happy to say that I help people transition to something brand new, and it was very, very rewarding. Based on my reputation, just successful throughout the area, I was recruited by a very large national company, Corinthian Colleges, to work with students traveling all over the area to help them with financial, career, and just talk to them about what success looks like. From there, I was also recruited to travel across the country as a recruiter and hire 1,300 people within a 6-month span. Fantastic, because I got to meet such beautiful people all over the country, which I loved. Once again, based on my reputation, a former colleague reached out to ask if I wanted to come to a startup, which was Trilogy, which is an ed tech boot camp to come and work, which was then acquired by 2U, where I stayed for many years until I had the lucky and awesome opportunity to come here at ElevateMe and kind of do the same thing I did at Trilogy. So I'm very blessed now to be part of ElevateMe.
Okay, that's awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that, Michelle. So you mentioned that you are a master certified career and life coach from the International Coaching Federation. So could you share what made you choose a career in career coaching and education? Like, what's the inspiration behind it?
So yeah, I always love getting this question. I like to say I didn't choose it, it chose me. It's my gift from God. And I say that very humbly. Throughout my life, people have always just been drawn to me and just share and open up and tell me their life story. I have this ability to get even the most shy and introverted and people that don't normally open up and have always had difficulty with other people. I'm lucky enough that they share and open up with me. I pride myself on being a very good listener, and I've words that have described my sessions have been calm and comforting, and I don't take that lightly. I don't use what I'm sharing right now, as something like cocky or overly confident. I'm truly blessed and humbled that people want to talk to me or they want to be around me, because it's so rewarding for me to just be a small part of these journeys that people are going on. While yes, I'm helping people, but all I do is unlock their real potential. That's all I'm doing. Is everyone has it inside of them. I'm just around them to just bring it out, which is just, it's very, very cool. And when I realized that this is something that I could help, I just embraced it. And, as they say, I just ran with it because I love what I do. It's not work. It's not a job. It's a gift. And I'm blessed that he gave it to me.
Oh, that's beautiful. I mean, I've worked with several coaches in the past, but then I think this is the first time I've heard someone say that it chose me and it's a gift from God. That's beautiful. I know, yeah, I've spoken to you personally, Michelle. I know how you are when it comes to speaking to people. So yes, I understand that you worked with, people from different cultural backgrounds, people from different walks of life at different stages in their career. How do you ensure that they have a very successful job search? Or in other words, like how is your role as a career coach an influence to their success during their job search?
Yeah, so thank you for asking again, Nidhi, is working as a career coach, helping individuals from diverse backgrounds requires a very tailored approach because everyone has just very specific and unique challenges. So one of the very few things, as I had just shared in this previous question, is that active listening, is really listening and understanding the person, right? Everyone is different, no matter where they come from, even if it's the same country, but is really understanding what is it that they're after, what are they looking for, and so understanding and getting to know them. So it's first start out just by that active listening to them, getting to know them. Of course, it's that cultural sensitivity, is that I want to ensure that whatever I'm saying is culturally sensitive. I'm respecting and I'm incorporating their cultural values and their norms, but ensuring that they are becoming successful in whatever it is that they want to do. That's very, very important, because nobody wants to lose wherever they came from. They want to take it and blend it in. I offer very holistic, personalized coaching sessions that address the specific needs, whether it be improving language skills, understanding workplace norms, adapting their resumes, cover letters, things of that nature, and then also highlighting their individual strengths. So going back to that active listening, what are their strengths? How can we focus on them and their experiences to make them unique candidates to that job market? I also, during the interview practice and the interview, like the mock interviews, sharing with them different skills and practices that are going to make them stand out in that actual workplace, right? So each workplace is going to be different. I'm very familiar with the workplaces, so how can they be successful? Because the goal is not just to get a job, but keep it, right? They want to keep it to be successful in that job and then further on. So our goal is to just keep them growing and growing, to have that unlimited earning potential, right? Building connections, overcoming reluctancies, right? Supporting them, motivating them, encouraging them, because we see that a lot, right? Of that shyness, or maybe not feeling like they can do it, but just keep on giving them what they need in terms of that motivation. Identifying maybe any types of gaps, right? As we're seeing, again, going back to that active listening, what are we seeing? What do we have? What's happening? So that constant, and that's just building up trust and rapport that I feel that I'm very good at. And then understanding, because we've all suffered a job loss. We've all had to go through, I had to get this job. So I understand it. I get it. Right? Nobody is above, right? We've all had to interview. So understanding and really just listening. And then just continuously encouraging until they get it, but always being that support system for them. And just my mom is not from this country, so I understand also what it means to be from another country, and to not kind of fit in. So I get it.
Oh, that's so nice. I really understand that you worked with people from different backgrounds in the past, and you had a very well structured process through the entire thing. So it is not like, hey, I'm gonna help you get a job. Here's your resume. You need to do this. It's not that. There are just so many elements that kind of get into it. So it makes me think, now, since you worked with so many in the past, you have like 16 years of experience as a coach. What are the top challenges that people usually face when they are looking for a job in the market? You know, you've been through the financial crisis of 2008. There was a recession that happens now as AI coming in the future. There are just so many uncertainties and so many things the market is going through. So what are the top challenges that you faced?
Right. And I'm going to use this more as a generalization. Everyone is going to be different. So
Yes.
top challenges, I will say I've seen across the board, and that's not in the order of importance. I would say one of them would be lack of confidence. So that self-doubt, that lack of confidence in their ability. So they may feel that they're great, but then they'll go on an interview and say, oh, wow, I wasn't expecting that. And so I'm going to need help presenting myself in interviews or a coding challenge. It kind of, they may be high on motivation and it starts to drop. So it's just that constant working. I've seen that. Crafting a compelling resume and cover letter. How do I do that? Right? They haven't done it in a while. Some of them have never done it. So that kind of, that comes into play of, what do I do? It's too hard. Walk me through that. Then, of course, the interview preparation. So it's not sometimes just answering the questions. Sometimes they're really well spoken, but it's that body language or the communication or the people skills that's overlooked. But the employer, that's what they're putting more pressure on, is those nuances that people need help with, and they're not practicing that part of it. Then you have individuals that may be well versed in a topic, but now they're struggling to get a job. So now there's career uncertainty. Am I picking the right thing? So there's a lot of discussion on that one. Networking is a huge one. I I get a lot of resistance, even though that's usually how most people find jobs, is through networking. I get I think I hear the word no more often than yes, is I don't want to do this. And then it turns out that they usually find a job through networking. And it's for all, I understand it. They're shy. They don't know what to do. How do I do it? A lot of different things. And then, of course, the job market saturation. There's a lot of job seekers. So ensuring that the candidates or the students are highly competitive. So working through the different strategies. And then, of course, as anyone who's ever applied for a job, this is taxing. It's emotionally draining. So just kind of providing that support, that motivation, because it will just wear on you. And then for the international students that I've worked with throughout the world, I will say it's just the cultural differences, the language barriers, especially living in Miami. I think one of the first things I used to hear was, I apologize for my English. I'm sorry if it's bad, which I never had a problem with, but there's just that if they're not fluent. So that was always, it was sad to hear that that's the first thing out of their mouth that they had, I never saw it. I thought they spoke beautiful English, but that was a challenge for them. Coming in.
You usually assume that everyone would know these basic English, and sometimes they just don't know it. And it's so critical when they're interviewing or when they're on the job that they get clear communication out, right?
Yeah. Yeah, it's important. Just this, again, these are just the little things that certain employers will pick up on, that it just takes practice, right? These are all what I call temporary and fixable. Everything is temporary and fixable. It just takes practice. That's all. And that's what we do here at ElevateMe, is take all of these small little things, because our main purpose and sole focus is our students. That's what we care about most, because we know what their goal is. We know how time sensitive it is. So we are so focused and committed to getting them there, because we understand the challenges, that we practice on every little thing to ensure that they're successful in landing the job and keeping it.
And that's so nice. I mean, I'm relieved to hear that these are just temporary, because I'm sure there are a lot of them who probably feel like, oh my God, I'm probably not as good as my counterpart might be at an interview. Yes, I'm technically very sound, but then I'm not able to communicate that well. But then with repeated practice, they're able to crack those initial interviews and be able to communicate so well. So it's nice to hear that you guide them through all of that. So I do have another question in mind. You were talking about all of those challenging markets that you kind of had to deal with in the past, right? So what do you think are like the future market trends, or the current market trends around data analytics, or let's say machine learning, or in the tech space in general? Like, what's your observation there?
What my observation has been is that there is still a constant demand for data analysts and machine learning experts across the various industries. Companies are recognizing the value of all data-driven decision making, so it's not slowing down. And while, yes, of course, there's that fear of AI, however, machine learning and AI technologies, yes, they're being adopted, but they do need professionals who are going to be able to develop and implement them, and of course, manage the system. So yes, there's the rise of AI, but you do need human beings behind them. So that's something that we are seeing. Finance, healthcare, e-commerce are some of the big industries that have been on the rise. They are still on the rise. They are going to be continued on the rise. So those are the industries to look out for, to apply for. They're not going anywhere. I know the fear of the tech sector, right, has had a lot of layoffs.
Exactly.
what I'm seeing, it's temporary, right? These are just temporary, but where the jobs are is the finance, healthcare, and e-commerce. That's something. Big data is still around. It's not going anywhere, right? So just I'm sure our folks know this, but right, it's the ability to handle and analyze large volumes of data, right? That's going to be hugely critical. So while these are not obviously new technologies, but the Hadoop, Spark, NoSQL, those are in high demand, right? So that's what we're seeing. Things that we teach here, right? The Python, the R, the SQL, Tableau, those are essential that they're wanting to see, right? The statistical, the programming. So all of the things that we do here at ElevateMe are going to continuously be in demand to help folks get a job. And then most importantly are the soft skills. So while it's great to have the knowledge, and I know our technical mentor, Archie, talked about it last week, is that it's great to have your programming, but they also want to see the soft skills. So soft skills being communication, teamwork, problem solving. Data professionals need to communicate with their teams. They need to communicate with the partners, the stakeholders, all individuals throughout their clients. So in order to be successful, they need to have the teamwork and the communication and the problem solving. So those are things that employers are looking at. And in order to be competitive, those are going to be key. So those are a lot of the trends. Adaptability is going to be important. So I would say the 3 skills most needed that employers are looking for are adaptability, communication, and collaboration. Those things are necessary for someone to succeed.
Okay, thanks a lot for shining light on that. That was really insightful. I'm sure it's really helpful for anyone who's joined us today, who's probably thinking about what is a trend, what are they supposed to think about when they prepare for the job, because I know there are a lot of students out there who keep applying for jobs and it just doesn't work out and it just builds up on their frustration level. So it's just good to get an insight on where the market is and what the market is really looking for, right? Okay. So this is just a call out again for all of you guys who have joined us on the webinar. Please feel free to put in any of your Q&A because Michelle is talking about a lot of things here. If you have any questions, please put it up on the Q&A window. And again, if you've joined us from YouTube, please do put it up in comments and we'll have our team pick it up from there. So coming back to what we were discussing, Michelle, you were talking about all the challenges, right, that in general people face when they're looking at the job market, the trends that's going on in the market. Now, one of the things that's very unique to international students is that they have very limited time to find the right job. If I'm just an American in the US, it's easier because I have more time in hand. There's no clock ticking down. I don't have any, I'm not worried about like a 90 days mark before I might be asked to leave the country. So as an international student, I'm sure majority of the time they're thinking about how do I really make my job search a success in a very short period of time? So what's your advice to, let's say, an F1 student moving to OPT if they want to really accelerate their job search and kind of find the right job in a very short period of time compared to maybe the rest of us who's looking for a job in the market?
Yeah, absolutely. The time frame is, of course, that's on first thing on their mind, and it's very crucial for the OPT students on an F1 visa. So some of the strategic steps that I would share in order to secure a job as quickly as possible, especially that we do here at ElevateMe, is we send out over 100 job applications per day using the top job boards, not just LinkedIn. We use all of the top, including the company portals. tailoring the student's resume so it passes the ATS, optimizing their LinkedIn profile. We also coach the students on how to leverage their network, right? We also reach out to recruiters, professional associations, social media. Something that I was sharing, but what we do here, and again, this is to ensure that they are successful in a very short amount of time, is that we're practicing interviewing questions from the initial screening to the second, third, and final round, including the technical. We're constantly doing mock interviewing. So it's not just giving them a document. We are doing mock interviews from the time they enroll all the way till they land that job interview. And they're working really one-on-one with myself as the career coach and their technical mentor. We're working on body language, interpersonal skills, communication skills. So that way they are ensured that when they get that job offer, they feel secure and comfortable in that job. Nothing is overlooked. There is no such thing as a small detail here at ElevateMe, right? Sometimes that is overlooked when they're doing self-preparation, not with us, including the technical area. We cover all of that. We also teach them how to research the companies. That is something that employers want to care about. It shows that you really, really want that type of job. We walk you through how to do that. We're not the type of environment that just leaves you how to do it on your own. We show you how to do it step by step in detail. No stone is left unturned. We also explain that sometimes we have to be a little bit flexible in the jobs or the location, so that way everything is out there, right? We also are going to recommend, while we're not lawyers, but we do share with you the OPT requirements, ensuring that you understand the requirements and comply with all the regulations. We also will point you to your university, so that way you can reach out to the International Student Office, so that way you're understanding what needs to be done, so that way you can apply for what the necessary paperwork is. And the reason why I said we're not lawyers is I don't want to give you any bad advice, but we will point you in the right direction, so that way you are filing the necessary paperwork and doing all the necessary steps. So we don't leave you hanging on that front either. As I said, we cover every detail. There's no stone left unturned. Your success is our success. We do care about you in that sense too.
Awesome. So it's nice to hear that there's so much that's being offered on the bootcamp and what you would be able to do for the students. You did touch upon like the soft skills as such, right? And we talk a little about how communication skills are important, and there's so many different things, right? Office etiquette. And so as an international student, is there anything really specific that they need to think about? Because they're fairly new to the US job market. So what is it that they really need to concentrate on when it comes to their soft skills?
I love this question. So some of the skills that is very important, that international skills all students really need to understand and learn, would be effective communication. And what that entails is the verbal, written, and active listening. Active listening means listening attentively and then responding appropriately. Also understanding, right, and respecting cultural differences in the workplace. That will ensure that they're getting far. Having that open-mindedness to accept all, and then as well as interpersonal skills, the team collaboration, conflict, resolution, the empathy. Most importantly, right? Problem solving, right? The critical thinking, being creative,
Okay, I think we've lost Michelle. Not sure. We'll just wait for her to come back online. Yeah, we did lose Michelle. I'm sure she'll be back online very soon. I'm so sorry about this. But then, yes, so this is the online space and these sort of things do happen. So, okay, on the meantime, before Michelle does kind of join the call, just want to introduce you to me as well, and what we're doing here on ElevateMe. So just a small brief introduction about myself. I, very similar to Michelle, have worked in a boot camp in the past, and I'm currently working here at ElevateMe as the career services manager as well. And my job and what my passion is to help students get their dream job because I've done this in the past. I've worked with international students as well as people who are from the US. So I know exactly what the job market is like, all the challenges that we go through. And a lot of the things that Michelle was talking about, what she was speaking about on the call is, yeah, very similar to things that even I have seen and how we've helped students navigate. Oh, Michelle, happy to have you back here. I think you're on mute.
I'm so sorry about that. I don't know what happened.
No, that's okay. It's an online world, and it's normal for these things to happen. So that's fine. I was just a little concerned. It's probably a network from my side, but then yeah, I'm glad that the webinar session is still on. Yes.
Okay. Where were we? I think we were talking about soft skills, right?
Soft skills, exactly.
Yes. Okay. So the professionalism, right? The work ethic, etiquette, appearance, right? Maintaining a professional appearance in the office, right? And then, of course, adaptability, right? Resilience, embracing change is always important because, as we know, things change rapidly in a workplace, and being willing to adapt to it and embrace that will really get students far, especially if their goal is to progress upwards in that workplace.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. I know you had to kind of come back and catch up on what we discussed, but thank you so much for covering that. So I can see that you have so many years of experience. You have such rich knowledge about coaching any person, any background. And so what inspired you to join ElevateMe and help international students? Like, I'm curious about that.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh, honestly, this was a no-brainer. It was driven by a combination of personal experiences, professional goals, and just a passion for making a meaningful impact on the lives of international students. Right. I mean, so I've kind of shared a little bit, having faced career challenges before, I understand the uncertainties and difficulties that come with job search and the career development. So ElevateMe in this experience just fulfills and fuels my empathy and desire to help others. Of course, I just have a passion for helping. And so my career has always been centered around empowering individuals to reach their full potential and helping international students. Just again, coming from my family and my background, just aligns perfectly with who I am. And again, just based on my family, just international students just hold a special place in my heart, just based on the unique challenges. And I've seen it, I've lived it. So understanding all the hurdles that they have to go through and being able to have a special place in that journey with them and being able to help motivate, provide the resources is just, it just holds a special place. And then, of course, with my extensive experience, where else would I want to be to share everything that I have than right here? And of course, understanding the ed tech sector, that I'm able to give that deep understanding. And being a master certified career and life coach, I think my knowledge would be better served with people that I feel most comfortable with. So and ElevateMe is ethical. They have the same values and integrity, and this is just a place where I feel at home, the most comfortable. It's truly a family from day one. I have great team members, coworkers, family. It is a great company. As I said, it was a no-brainer to come here. I am blessed every day. I look forward to working here, getting up to our meetings, to working with the students. This is, it's a beautiful company. Our purpose and our mission is just awesome. It's awesome.
Wow. Yeah, it's proud when you're always speaking. I mean, I can see it. You're very proud about being a part of the team. Okay, so you were speaking about career coaching. So could you speak a little more on what career services on a very higher, broader level looks like for the students? Because on the bootcamp, it's not just the coaching, right? There's more. So could you discuss a little more on that?
So sure, yes. How much time do I have? We have so much. So yes. Now here, yes, so here at ElevateMe, and again, this is not just me. I have a beautiful team that supports me and supports all of us. But here at ElevateMe, again, it's a personalized, hands-on, holistic approach that each student has. So each student will have up to over 100 job applications submitting on their behalf every single day for multiple months. Our dedicated support expert that works on their behalf tirelessly, ensuring that they are receiving job interviews out in that competitive market. We cover the entire job market. So as I think I shared before, the LinkedIn competitive job boards, company portals, every place that recruiters, hiring managers are looking. So, and everything is tailored to that student. So it is tailored. There's cover letters, everything that the student needs to pass the applicant tracking system. We follow up, we manage responses. The goal of what I'm sharing is that the student can focus on the interview practice, their boot camp, the technical area, right? We do understand all of this takes a lot of time. We want the student to be able to prep for those interviews. Job applications start after the first 3 weeks, but during that time upon enrollment, that's when they're doing their mock interviewing, right? So there is no waiting. We are doing the mock interviewing. We are prepping them on the communication skills, everything that needs to be done. So that way, the goal is that when we start sending out applications, they're getting those interviews. So everything is being done. When I shared with the mock interviews, understand it's behavioral and technical. So they're getting a combination of both. And it's multiple rounds per week. So that way they are ready to go, whether it be the initial screenings, the second, third round. So we're really prepping them so they can secure that job. And they're feeling, again, having that confidence. We provide cultural training to understand the U.S. corporate culture so they feel comfortable in the workplace and ensure longevity and success in the job. We do, again, with the resume preparation, maintains authenticity, ethical standards. We do not fabricate resumes, so students do not have to look over their shoulders and worry about anything unethical happening. Our goal is to ensure that students will have that unlimited earning potential for their entire career, which is why doing things in the most ethical way is the best policy. So there's a lot of things that happen, but again, the student can always remain that they are doing things in the most ethical, legal way.
Awesome. And I'm glad to hear this because we've spoken about this in the past. There is just so many things out there, so many options out there for students, but then unfortunately, a lot of these options are probably not ethical. And yeah, it's a great call out that on the boot camp, it's all ethical. So you did mention about the LinkedIn, right? And then the resume building. So can you just discuss a little more about what kind of goes into their resumes and LinkedIn and how the bootcamp actually helps them bridge that gap, between their education and their career?
So what we do is we have live projects that are going to go onto their resume, which the live projects are what the employers are actually looking for to show that you have that real world experience, which is incredibly crucial. This is what's important. They're building out that GitHub. Again, employers are looking for that GitHub link. They have hundreds of hours that are put onto their resume because they've completed this boot camp. Again, it's what employers are looking to see. So all of that is going through. Plus, as you're in a boot camp and you're working in these real world projects, you're encountering real world scenarios with teammates, right? Your fellow students. So now you're able to share in your interviews those types of questions. So now you're able to have that problem solving, the collaboration, and the communication, those three things that I had mentioned that are very, very important. And so what we're doing is we're giving you things that will really happen. And it's a simulation of what's going to take place in that job. That's why those live projects, those real world projects are very, very important. We're also providing that certificate of completion, which employers do look for. That is crucial that you're seeing that. Again, in here in the US, boot camps are well known, they're well regarded. We're certified by the State Board of Career Colleges, which is highly reputable. That holds a lot of water because they want to see that. So what we offer here at ElevateMe that's going to be on your resume is that practical training, right? It's not theoretical, it's practical. That is the most important thing, and that's what students really, really need. And what we then do with the LinkedIn is it's going to have the same. So what employers do is they usually look at your LinkedIn first, is that they want to see, is it legit? Is it matching up to that resume? And that's really what we do, is that we're optimizing it to make sure that you have one, which is important. All the information is there, it's the same. And then you're also able to link some of your projects. You can have your certificate of completion stand out on your LinkedIn, which is important. You're able to make connections. So there's a lot of key things that we show you how to do to stand out. But our bootcamp is, because it's giving you that real world and hundreds of hours of practical and real world, that's going to make you more competitive in this market.
Oh, wow, that's nice. So this is definitely different from the capstones that students usually do in their universities. So I know we don't have a lot of time. We do want to move to the Q&A as well. So I'll just wrap it up with this one last question, Michelle. So in your experience, you did kind of highlight a few of the points on how the bootcamp space is kind of different from the traditional educational method when it comes to, helping students kind of get the job. But then is there anything else that you would want to add, probably, just to show how the boot camp is different from what students usually gain as an experience from their education, their universities, or where they're coming from?
Oh, thank you for asking that. While the universities have career services, what I love about boot camps is that we offer more of a dedicated career services. It's more of the one-on-one, where we're really working side by side. That would be a little bit something. We also offer the job placement. Universities coming from, right? I worked in universities. They have a department, but they're not working with you one-on-one. It's just virtually impossible. If you think about the sheer number of students that attend a university versus ours, we are small one-on-one on purpose. So we can give you that dedicated attention. We do focus on preparing students for the job search process. That is our goal, especially when you have a dedicated team. You have a dedicated team for your technical, you have a dedicated team for your career services. our instructors are not only, the great thing about ours is our instructor is an international student who succeeded, highly successful in the industry. So has that type of background knowledge. So he's worked in the industry and beyond qualified. I work with him hand in hand every day. So you actually have somebody that worked in the industry, but also an international student, so understands the struggles, how to succeed, has successfully succeeded in this country, and then can give you the real-time knowledge. Which is sometimes a little bit different from a university. And I'm just speaking from mine. They were full-time professors. They didn't have the real world industry experience. We're continuously updating our curriculum to reflect on industry trends and demands. As we know in technology is changing rapidly. What was available 10 years ago and what was hot and what was current is no longer. While some companies may try and bring it back for economic reasons, it's not what we call hot. It's not that ever moving. And we just all know this. But what we do is we stay current and we stay abreast of all the hot trends to ensure that our students are successful. We are more of that practical and real world projects. Our training is immersive and intensive in a shorter amount of time to get you out in that job market, because that's really what the students want. Their goal is not to spend years, it's months, a couple weeks, and get them out of there. And then we're also developing a portfolio to showcase and then continuously showcase throughout your entire career. So I'd say these are some of the key highlights on why a boot camp is just way more effective. And again, of all the years that I've been doing this, of why I've seen students who have been in a master's that come to us because they just can't make it. Unfortunately, the employers just want more.
Got it. Thank you so much, Michelle. That was really insightful. Thank you so much for your patience and time in answering all of these questions. Great answers. It was amazing having you on the panel today. And your journey as a career coach through boot camps, your business, the insight and the knowledge that you bring in, and especially the one that is targeted for international students. That's really awesome. So thanks a lot. If anybody wants to reach out to Michelle, you can always reach out to her on her LinkedIn profile. Her name is Michelle, Michelle Licata. It's Licata. And you'll be able to find her on LinkedIn. So perfect. I think now we should be able to move into our Q&A section. Like I said, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it up on the Q&A window. Else, if you're on YouTube, if you joined us on YouTube, you can just put up in the comment section and we can pick it up. We do have few more of our ElevateMe team members here on board. We have Archit Garg. He is our technical mentor. Archit, thanks a lot for joining in. We also have Abhishek Bhati. He is our admissions manager. So it's amazing to have you guys on board as well. Thank you so much for joining us for the Q&A section. And I think we can move into the Q&A from here. So Archit, would you be able to pick up the questions?
Sure. Yeah, Niti. So I have one question out here. So the student is saying recruiters are not hiring the OPT candidates even if we have a talent or skill.
Okay.
So yeah, this is their question. So what do we do in this scenario?
Just a little. I do want to inquire if this is somebody who has some experience to show in their resume or do not have experience to show on their resume, because recruiters typically do require some form of experience on the resume. It need not be like 4 or 5 years of experience, but if you're trying to get into an entry-level position, it's always great if you have some prior experience to show as an OPT student.
Yeah, we have another question. What are the best websites to find the jobs for recent graduate candidates?
There's probably over 50 websites that are really great. To list them all would take too long.
Yeah.
Or
I think
maybe
LinkedIn is also, LinkedIn, Indeed are some of the popular ones where like you can find a lot of job listings.
they're the most popular ones, but then if
Glassdoor.
if you do search online, you're going to be able to find a lot more.
Hmm.
And yeah, I know, Michelle, you won't be able to share all of them at the moment, but then that's something that we can take up probably later.
Yeah. We have another question. So who takes care of the applications, me or your team?
So if you're referring to the job applications, it is our team that takes care of the job applications. You would be working with the career coach, Michelle, to design your LinkedIn as well as your resume to make sure that all of the previous experiences that you've had, your education, your capstone project detail, including the live project detail, is captured in your resume very effectively. The call out here being that the live project details are usually highlighted in the work experience section of the resume. So Michelle will be working with you to get your LinkedIn as well as your resume updated. And once that is done, then we have a dedicated team that will be doing, as Michelle mentioned, roughly around 100 applications a day, all tech jobs which is suitable for students.
I'd like to say if they want to start their application process sooner, the student can do that. We just want them to focus on the interviewing process, the mock interviewing, focus on other areas. That's why we take care of it for the student, but we don't tell them not to do it themselves.
Yeah. They're free to do it themselves as well. Thanks for sharing that, Michelle.
Yeah, we have another question from Snehal Shah. In the first 3 to 6 months after being laid off, a person is now on F1 OPT. Will you assist them in finding the necessary work once more?
So this is a person who's just joined us on the bootcamp, right? Can you just repeat that question again,
Yeah, I'll
Rajat?
repeat that question. Yeah, in the first 3 to 6 months after being laid off, a person
Laid off.
is now,
Okay.
a person is now on F1 OPT. Will you assist them in finding the necessary work once more?
Of course. And if you've had prior work experiences, that's awesome because we'll be able to tell you exactly how you're supposed to have that mentioned in the right way on your resume. Because myself, Michelle, we know exactly what hiring managers are looking for, how their mind works, how they view their resume, and what they're looking for in job applicants, what's the most effective way of applying for jobs. So and we'll be more than happy to help somebody who's been laid off. We've done it several times. I mean, I have. I'm sure, Michelle, you have as well. Work with those who've been laid off. And with the current tech market uncertainties, I mean, it's not uncommon to find a job and then get laid off because there's a lot of layoff happening, especially in the tech space. So what we also do is teach you what you have to do if you get laid off. Even after we've helped you and you get a job, we teach you how to navigate through the job market in a very effective way. So tomorrow you'll not be concerned about a layoff ever again because you know exactly how to get a job in the market.
Perfect,
I hope that answers.
Yeah. We have another question. What if I want to start my application process sooner?
Oh, yeah, I'll be happy to take that. You can definitely start your application process sooner. So what we do require you to do is go through mock interviews with us. Obviously, if you have to join the bootcamp, you have to go through the initial screening interviews. You have to go through the assessment test. We do gauge your technical skills. But then once you're on the bootcamp, let's say even in week 1 or week 2, you don't have a lot of time on your OPT left and you want to kickstart your job search, we can definitely enable that as long as you take the mock interviews with our technical mentor, who is Archit, or our career coach, who's Michelle. and you qualify and we know you're job market ready. If you're not job market ready, we are able to understand through these mock interviews what are the areas that you need improvements in or further support on, and we'll be able to support you with that gap and make sure that you're job market ready. And after you retake your mock, you can start off with your job search. So though on the bootcamp, we typically start the marketing or the job applications from month 4, we can always, from week 4, we can always do it in advance if you feel you're ready or you need that support immediately. I hope that answers.
Yeah, I think this next question is for me. Can you explain what kind of projects you work on? Yeah, so basically, like we'll be working on a live project, and yeah, it's a company called East Coast Entertainment, and it's an entertainment agency which excels in facilitating bookings for events, like corporate events, private functions, festivals, etc. And so the company is tasked with basically developing key sales statistics and analytical insights to empower the company board to make informed business decisions. So we'll be like forecasting future business trends and opportunities, assessing like what could be the profitability for the company. We'll be forecasting sales, revenue, all of that kind of stuff, and it would involve data analytics and machine learning. So we'll be primarily working on the skills of Python, some libraries like Pandas, NumPy, Matplotlib, Seaborn. We'll be working with SQL. We'll be visualizing the dashboards using Tableau, Power BI, and that kind of stuff. So yeah, this is the live project, and it's gonna go on for 2 months. We'll be having like daily stand-up meetings. We'll be working with Jira to keep track of like all the issues that we are facing and resolving them one by one. So yeah, you'll be working in batches. Yeah, it depends, and like we'll be distributing the tasks among you. So it will be like a real world kind of simulation, like how it's done on the job. So you'll get a sense of that over here in the live project. So I hope that answers that question. And then we have, so
then
can you
another question?
Go ahead, Niti.
Yeah, I can see there's a question from Snehal Shah. I think this again would be something that you can answer, Archit.
How code even?
How code do you need a background in data analytics, as I have no experience in it? And I think Snehal's background is in UI UX design. So
yeah. No, I think like you do need some kind of a background in data analysis. It depends like on your like if what kind of degree you have done here in the US, like what's your master's in. If it's computer science, and like if you've taken some courses like related to databases or data mining, data analysis, machine learning, then still you will be fine. But like if you've not worked in that domain, if you don't know anything about like Python, SQL, that Tableau, then it would be difficult. So yeah, you need at least some kind of a background. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's another question. Can you explain to me the process when my project starts, when my job application starts? I don't have much time left. Do you want to take that, Niti?
Okay, so we have weekly enrollments. You're free to join in any week, but the project would be on a month, that's how it works. But we need not wait for the job application to begin only once the project begins, because what we're going to do is we're going to see, we know how the job market works and all the challenges that's there. There are so many people out there in the job market with several years of experience you're competing against, right? Especially with all the tech layoffs that's happening. Now, in our previous experience, what we've realized is in the US job market, the way you get jobs is one, you're very good at networking. Our team is there to help you out with that. And then the second one is definitely if you have a strong portfolio. So even if you do not start your project with us, if you have done any capstone projects with your university, that is something that we can help you get onto a GitHub, like a portfolio. We'll be able to build the portfolio and you can start off with the job application there. But then we do require you, or we do suggest that you have some project to show when you do start off with the job application, because we understand that there are different students who are at different timelines, and some of them just do not have a lot of time left with them. So yeah, I hope that answers. If you have any further question, Rahul, I can see it's Rahul who's putting this question. Please feel free to follow up.
Sure.
So, okay.
Yeah, we have another question. Yeah, so this is like how to apply for ElevateMe.
I think Abhishek can take this question.
Yeah. Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Archit. So you can simply visit our website. There is the option to apply now. You can simply apply there.
Okay.
Our website is elevateme.pro. Yeah, thank you.
Perfect. Okay, team, I know we're on time.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. I think we're done with majority of the questions. I can see there are more questions coming in, but unfortunately, we'll not be able to take it right now. We're pressed on time. If you have any further questions, please feel free to give us a call directly. Our number is 614-965-8005. I repeat, it's 614-965-8005. Or you can email us at info@elevateme.pro. I have it here on my banner, so feel free to pick it up from there. So yes, I hope this was really insightful. I know there was a lot of information shared by Michelle. Thank you so much again, Michelle. Abhishek, Archit, thanks a lot for joining the session today. And we look forward to seeing all of you next Friday. Wishing all of you a lovely rest of the day and a great weekend ahead. Thank you. Thank you, team.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.